Good morning, good evening, or good night, wherever in the world you are. Hope you are doing well, and welcome to your latest Nottingham Forest news. Firstly, I am back after suffering from COVID, and to all of you guys who have caught it or had it, my God, hope you guys are well. But I've tested negative today, still got a bit of a bug nose and a sore throat, but apart from that, thank God I am doing well. So thank you all for your messages of support, and it was really good for you guys to keep me going while I was off. So apologies for the lack of content, but I was locked away in the bedroom. Anyway, guys, in today's video, we have a lot to talk about. Yes, we have a game coming up, but not till Monday. We're going to start building up into that game. We're going to be looking at the Forest injury list. We're going to be looking at the Forest news and seeing what's going on in and around the City ground as well. Before we get started, as always, guys, if you would be kind enough, now that I'm back, to give the video a quick like, subscribe to the channel if you are new, turn your notifications on, and don't forget, if you still got nothing to do while you're waiting for the football, go get your free Amazon Music for 1 month. The link is pinned in the comments as well as in the description. You can cancel at any time. It's completely free to do for a month, so go check that out. Let's jump into the news and let's start by looking at our injury list. Okay, so a lot to talk about today, a lot of catching up to do, and like I said, we want to start with the injury list, especially looking back from the international break. Who's come back injured, who's fit, who's rumoured as injured, and who's rumoured as fit. So if we look at our international players firstly, it was said that Morgan Gibbs-White, Dennis, and Niakate were all coming back or sent back early due to injury. Now, a lot of these are still not clear as to, and McKenna, sorry, a lot of these are unclear onto where they are injury-wise. The one person I can say for sure is fit and able and will be available for Monday is Emmanuel Dennis. Emmanuel Dennis has been doing a lot of interviews this week since he's been back, but he's also been on the training pitch, taking a lot of pictures. He's playing he's playing with the football, should I say, and it's clear to me to see that he is completely fit. There's been no updates on Morgan Gibbs-White, nor has there been any pictures or anything like that released of him either. So I think he still may be a doubt for Monday. And in terms of McKenna, I believe he's picked up a knee injury or a knock to his knee, and I think he may be out for a couple of weeks. Now, this goes back to what we discussed before I went off sick in terms of Niakate. Now, if Niakate is fit enough, I think I was under the feeling that I think Steve Cooper may risk him for the Leicester match. However, now with McKenna potentially being injured, it may have to accelerate the Niakate return into the first team. If this is the case, this is a big, big risk that Steve Cooper may end up taking over a critical player. And in my opinion, the most important signing we've made this summer. Will Steve Cooper risk Niakate in the Leicester match? Or will he end up going with the likes of Cook again in the defence? These are all questions that we don't yet have the answer to, but as we build up into the match, we will be covering it off. In terms of the rest of the players that came back, they all have reported back fit and ready for training. So the international break is nicely in the rearview mirror. We have no more breaks, or expected breaks, should I say, until the World Cup. So we have a nice run of games to look forward to. And as always, we will have the watch-alongs for you here live on this channel. So make sure if you're not going to the match, you tune in with us and you can bite your nails away. I want to talk about the international players now. And I want to talk about certain players and how they've performed. So let's jump into that next. For me, there's been a lot of positive talk about the way Forest players who went away for international duty performed for their respected nations. And a lot of it is to do with formations that suit those players. And what's funny about those formations, all of them seem to have a common theme. More times than not, they were either playing in a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3. Let's have a look at Wales, because we have obviously the most starter internationals for Wales. You had Henderson in goal. Now, goalkeeper is goalkeeper. You can't really play with tactics on that. But I thought he put in 2 good performances for Wales over the international break. You had Nico Williams, who was actually being used on the left side for Wales and did a very, very good job for them as well. But the one that stood out to me from our Wales contingency, by a country mile, was Brennan Johnson. Brennan Johnson looks like a different player and a different animal. He looked like the Brennan Johnson from last year's campaign, where he was playing against, and they weren't playing easy teams. They played Belgium and they played Poland. And he looked completely at home in a Belgian midfield that had the likes of, a Belgian midfield that had the likes of De Bruyne in there, Witsel in there. He was up against Carrasco as well. And he did not look at all out of place. In fact, I felt he shined and accelerated in there. Now, why? Because he was being played in his position that I feel he's most suited for, which I've been saying since the pre-season match. I think it was against Union or Hertha Berlin, where Coops put him in a cam position, central in the pitch, and he looked lost from that game onwards. He has not been given the freedom to pull out wide and play in that wide right position, which he did in Wales. And it was a night and day. It was a Jekyll and Hyde person who performed for Wales. Why? Because he can stretch defenders and midfielders, and he can stretch the lines, which allows, in turn, create space in that midfield for other players as well to flourish in. What he can do as well, it gives him that channel to work with down the wing, where he can outrun the defenders, pull them through, get great crosses in. He has a good delivery. A lot of us do forget that. We remember his magical goals from last season. He's not just a goal scorer. He's an excellent provider as well. So for me, one of the lessons that needs to be taken away from this international window is Brennan Johnson, and I know I've said this a lot, and I will keep saying it, has to play out wide. And for him to do that, the formation has to change. Formation has to go to a back four with Brennan Johnson pulled out wide on the right. It's a no-brainer for me. But maybe you guys disagree. Maybe you agree. Let me know down in the comments below. Let's now move on to the next person who I think stood out nearly as much as Brennan Johnson. Freuler came in for a lot of stick after his performance against Fulham. Now, I said to him, and I will agree, he was a bit of a ghost during that performance. And I still wasn't judging him. If you guys remember my player ratings, if you haven't seen that after the Fulham match, go back and watch it. But I didn't notice him too much in the game, because he wasn't being utilised in the position he should be in. He's not a box-to-box, nor is he a CDM. He's one of those ones who kind of orchestrates the play. They call him the conductor. He pulls the strings in the midfield. And what does he need around him? He needs legs and he needs runners. And what does he get in the Swiss team when he does that? He gets the same thing. He gets the opportunity to get his foot on the ball, pick the passes through the line, progress the ball forward, and control the pace and the tempo of the game. Forest keep getting overrun in the midfield in all the matches we've played. I can't think of any match where Forest have been able to dominate a midfield battle. And because of that, Freuler then is not allowed the opportunity to dictate the pace of the game. Main reason being is that we are playing with a 2 in midfield, and most opponents you will come across in the Premier League will have a 3 or will have a 4 in there, sometimes even a 5 to really overrun that midfield. In football, the match is always won and lost with that midfield battle. That's the biggest duel you can have in any football match. And until we allow him the time to control the game, we will not see the best out of him. He had a great performance against Spain. I actually caught that match and I thought he looked like a completely different player. He looked like the player I'd seen play at Atlanta. And in the second match as well, he was able to get a goal and I think an assist as well, because he dictates the play. He has to be the heartbeat of the team. And for me, he has to be given a run out in the Forest team in his proper position. Now, if you look at the Switzerland formation, they were playing a 4-2-3-1 with himself and the chap from Arsenal, and I've gone blank on his name. I literally can see his face. Xhaka. There we go. It came back to me. Him and Xhaka playing in the 6 and 8 position. Now, neither of them the quickest, neither of them the most mobile, but that combination worked very well because you had Xhaka who could destroy the play, Xhaka who was playing a bit higher up, but they worked well in a double pivot where they sat behind 3. And that formation for me, I know I go on about it a lot, but would suit Freuler in the Forest Red. Freuler sitting there with an O'Brien next to him or a Mangala next to him would allow him the freedom to take the ball where they've destroyed the play, where they've picked it up from Henderson or deep from the defence, played it into him, because they're not scared to receive the ball, unlike players like Yates, who was hiding in the Fulham match, unlike players like Kiate, who's more of just a destroyer, and unlike other players that we've put into that midfield, like a Colback, for example. That kind of combo would suit us a lot better. And you could go a step further and actually put that into a 4-3-3, where you would have O'Brien, Mangala, and Freuler as the midfield three. And to me, that would work just as well, because you'd have two players receiving the ball from deep, two players doing the leg work, the donkey work, if you like, to allow Freuler to be freed up to control the pace and the tempo of the game. If you're going to persist in playing Freuler in a 2 alongside Yates, as we saw in the Fulham match, you will never get the best out of him, because it's not his game. That's not what he's been designed to produce. So for me, a 3 in midfield or a 2-3, so a bank of 2 and then 3 in front of him in the 4-2-3-1, suits him down to a T. And it shows in the right formation, we have the players that can produce great performances. Let's keep going. Quick word on Dean Henderson. I mean, Southgate, what are you doing? Why call all these players up and do nothing with them and just play your favourite FC? I thought it was bad at Forest when we were seeing favourite FCs, but it looks like nothing compared to what Southgate's doing with England, where you're seeing the likes of Maguire, Luke Shaw, Foden, freaking Kane, all these players who, I'm not saying they're bad, but I'm just saying that you already know what you're getting with them. He had Henderson, who's had a really good start to the season, who is like renowned now for penalty stopping, and he chose Pope in both games ahead of him. To me, makes no sense. Why not play Pope for one game or Ramsdale for one game and then Henderson for the other game? Because what are you going to do if your boy Pickford gets injured and you got to go into a World Cup with Pope having an absolute stinker against the Germans? Why not give Henderson that run out? Either way, I think the whole point of what I'm saying here is Henderson just being recalled to the England squad is going to boost his confidence even further. Like he needs any more confidence boosting anyway, but Henderson is now coming back to Forest, officially back in the England team. Regardless of the fact that he played or didn't play, I feel that it's only going to benefit Nottingham Forest. So overall, I've been very happy with the international window. One, that it's over, but two, that these players are going to be coming back off really strong performances, and that's really going to help us in light of the matches that we've got coming up. But it all means nothing if we don't get the team selection right come Leicester. So let's have a quick chat about that. So we're going to have a lot of build-up into the Leicester game over the next few days, so please make sure you are, of course, subscribed to the channel. And a quick reminder, just to give the video a quick like if you're enjoying the content so far. This is really more a discussion video today, really just to get us back into the swing of things. And of course, we will be having the daily videos day in, day out as well. But coming on to this Leicester point, and I'll only touch on it very briefly, this Leicester game for me is a big one, because a lot of Forest fans, we targeted the Bournemouth match and the Fulham match and now the Leicester match. And then I'm hearing Forest fans saying, well, we're still not going to see the best of Forest till after the World Cup. Some are even saying, let's see where we are come the new year. My point is, you can't say that. You can't say that. This isn't the Championship. And a lot of people maybe are still in the mindset of, well, this time last year, we were sitting rock bottom of the table. We just beat Barnsley and the roll started. It doesn't work like that in the Premier League. In the Championship, you can go on a run, 3, 4, 5 games on the bounce, and suddenly you find yourself jumping up 10, 12 places in the league table. It doesn't work like that in the Premier League, because it's very unlikely that you're going to go on a run of 5 or 6 games where you're going to just get those W's back to back to back to back. Forest need to start picking up points, and fans need to stop delaying the hauling of those points, because before you know it, we could find ourselves adrift. If Forest get into a position where they become adrift, that's it. It's game over. It's so hard to recover in the Premier League. Once morale hits rock bottom, once that team is earmarked as an easy target and an easy win, Forest could find themselves struggling very much so in the Premier League. So as the fan base, we need to stop looking at the fixture list and saying, and I've done it myself, where I look at it and think, all right, there's 3 points there, there's another 3 there, there's 1 point there, I can't see us winning that one. We have to go, in the words of Steve Cooper, game by game. But going into that game, expecting and demanding a win, and it has to start with Leicester. Once we get that next win, it will relieve a lot of pressure off the club, off the players, and we should see some freedom coming into the football that we perform on the pitch. So this Leicester game, I'm a little worried about it because I see Leicester looking at it in the same light that Forest are looking at the game, that this is going to be the game that kickstarts their season. I see this game as being a very attacking game from both sides, with probably a lot of defensive errors as well. We'll go into the tactics and the breakdown, and we'll do a Leicester review as well. So for you guys who probably haven't seen much Leicester games, and I don't blame you because they're pretty damn dire to watch. But we'll talk about where this game can be won and lost at points during this weekend. But for now, just wanted to reintroduce myself back into the YouTube world, get back into the swing of things. Still not 100% fit, but I've missed you guys and wanted to make sure we got some content out there. So guys, let me know in the comments down below how you feeling about the Leicester game. Can Forest get this one over the line? And what do you think the result will be? We'll be back with the Predictor League as well at some point this week. If you haven't already, go sign up. Make sure that you filled in your predictions ready for these weekend matches. And then, of course, we'll have the build-up into the Leicester game either tomorrow or on Saturday. And then, of course, the game live here Monday night. Can't wait for it. Can't wait to see Forest hopefully win that match. Hope you've enjoyed the video, guys. It's good to be back. Please, before you leave, don't forget to give the video a quick like, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Go sign up for your free Amazon Music trial. The link's pinned in the comments down below. And let me know all your thoughts and comments and anything I may have missed in my absence that's related to Nottingham Forest. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video. And come on, you Reds.